if you didn't know, it says Hedera faces network issues amid growing fears of that particular hack. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you haven't. It's Hbar price set to crash. I'll be honest, if it was, oh my gosh, if this thing crashed to a penny, I mean, come on, back the freaking truck up, because I'm not worried about Hbar. Hbar is not going anywhere. Well, some people will be like, oh, it's going down to penny apparently. Well, just hear us. So it says, as per the latest crypto news related to specifically Hbar, Hedera might be under attack as several decentralized apps halt operations, resulting in major Hbar price drop. Okay, I'm not sweating it. Now, it says, what comes as a surprise to the crypto community, major decentralized apps running on top of the Hedera Hbar network recently pointed out suspicious activities and have therefore halted operations. Many are speculating it to be malicious exploit or a planned attack rather than a technical glitch in the system. And don't worry, we will get to the part where Hedera has a response to this. Now, Hedera Hbar under attack, Hashpoint Network, which is a cross-chain solution built on Hedera, was the first to notice the irregular, I can't say it right now, irregular, read too much today, apologize, you know what it says, in the network. As a result, they terminated their Hashport bridge, all right, which was used for transferring digital assets across multiple networks. Subsequently, users of other Hedera-based applications began to report abnormal behavior and were later warned to avoid utilizing the network entirely for the safety of funds. Here's a perfect example. Some of you guys have been reporting in the comments. Who was it? Was it JG? Was it somebody else that said something about it earlier? I can't remember. Maybe I'm confusing somebody. I also remember like something maybe a few days ago prior to that, somebody else mentioned this. I've seen people reporting crazy stuff on crypto Twitter. So it is a thing. So the official announcement came soon after with Hedera's development arm. Of course, we'll get more into that. Hbar Foundation stating that they are currently monitoring and resolving the issue. Here's the response from the Hbar Foundation. It says they noticed network irregularities. I can't even pronounce it tonight. I know what that word is. It's just not coming out right. I don't know what's going on with it. Sorry. It says that are impacting various Hedera decentralized apps and their users. The foundation is in communication with impacted partners, which is good. You need to immediately address that. Doesn't matter which DApp it is, and especially doesn't matter which ones are part of, whatever project that is. It's building on your ecosystem. If they have a DApp, you got to address it immediately. They've done that. So they're monitoring and working to help resolve the issue. Please stand by for more information. And of course, it is what it is. Now, there's a little bit more in regards to some of this other news. So it says, according to information obtained, Hedera's top two services, which is the Hedera Token Service, HTS, and Hedera Consensus Service, which is HCS, have been currently affected. As a consequence, the majority of the tokens that have been built on Hedera are vulnerable to the exploit. Now, of course, that's where some people are like, oh my God, I can't believe this. There's a lot of FUD. People are panicking. People are selling. And my thing again is, okay, this is Hedera. I'm sure everything will be fine. But I also have to recognize that the price is going to crash down to maybe 2 or 3 cents from where it's at. I'm just going to throw that out. I'm not going to say it's going to happen immediately, but it could keep going down. Penny, I don't think so. I mean, but if it did, oh boy. Oh. But we got to at least admit that, something in regards to some of this, right? So, you look at like the whole thing that happened with ALBT, that was a lot more monumental, right? So it says the supposed attacker has been touted to specifically target the decompiling process in the network smart contracts. As a result, major decentralized exchanges such as Pangolin have strongly suggested withdrawing all HTC-based tokens from the platform. I wouldn't necessarily call it like the ultimate doom and gloom, but this is probably one of the worst things that's happened with Hbar, right? That I know of. So Pangolin had this response. They said, due to some Hedera network irregularities, Still can't pronounce it tonight for some reason. I don't know why. Hashport has paused their bridge, and we have encouraged anyone with HTS tokens in pangolin pools and farms to withdraw immediately, right? And another thing I want to point out, even when it came to ALBT, right, you had bonked out. Here's another perfect example. There's something to be said about providing liquidity to these liquidity pools. Consistent pattern here. Am I too far off? Just throwing that out there. All right, so it says this is a time critical moment. So we'll update as soon as we have more information. Of course, there's going to be an impact on the price. Let's talk about that briefly. I mentioned about, I felt as though it could dip down about 2 or 3 cents, maybe more. For some of you guys that don't know all these technical things, this is the juicy stuff that you may be wanting to hear about, right? So in light of the Hbar crypto news, Hedera'S total value locked, right, TVL, has witnessed significant decline of roughly 17% as per DeFi Llama's crypto tracker. Of course, if you want to go to that particular link, you can and nerd it out if you want. But if you're still with me, listen to this. It says, although there has been no official confirmation of a hack or an organized exploit, many speculate it to be the same hacking group that recently attacked Algorand. That's interesting. Why would that be? Well, I want to throw in my 2 cents in regards to this. So, as we know, Hedera is the most greenest of the green when it comes to, it's not, blockchain, right? Hashgraphs, different technology, right? But Algorand is second to it, and it's not even close when it comes to being, who's the greenest of the green. Like Hedera takes it away, but Algorand is number 2. Now, I don't know if this is just like, the anti-green coalition of hackers, like that want to go after some of these particular projects, but I wouldn't put it past it, right? But it says this comes after a similar malicious trail was witnessed in Algorand's My Algo wallet, where the hackers drained funds to the tune of, listen to this, $9.6 million. So it's pretty big stuff. And of course, there's more in regards to all of this. I want to give you another particular one that was mentioned. Here is a announcement, actually, right? So this comes from Hbar Suite, and they had a response, right? It says smart contract, less DeFi. I mean, they're obviously not as big as, Hedera Foundation, but, they have a response. So it says, hello, future. We are writing to address the recent hack on Hedera smart contracts, right? It says, while the details of the attack are still unclear, we want to assure you that we are closely monitoring the situation alongside the Hedera team. Our smart nodes have not been affected. So if you were wondering, like, has been affected, there's your answer. And it says, and to the best of their knowledge, neither have our native H Suite or Shiba tokens. However, we recommend that you remove liquidity from smart contract dexes, just like the previous guy from, what was it? That one was started with a P. I forgot what they mentioned as well, right? So it's a common thing, right? It's important to remember that while security in computer science cannot always be 100% guaranteed, as it is a constantly evolving field, our smart node technology remains secure against the types of hacks that can be performed on smart contracts. And that's what we should all take away, especially if we're invested into Hbar, like myself. It says this is because we use the Hedera native services with the native multi-signature functionalities. Our upcoming DEX will never use smart contracts, and we are making sure the most possible secure outcome in order to avoid any event of malicious nature. Now, I want to throw my own 2 cents a little bit more in regards to this. So you have a partnership with Quant. If you have a partnership with Quant, why aren't you using that particular utility of what? Secure smart contracts. So, I mean, if it was me, I'd be getting with GV immediately and being like, look, maybe he saw it. Maybe he's already getting together with them, because that in itself is pretty powerful. So I thought a report on that. Another particular content creator who a lot of you guys follow has posted this. This was recent. This was posted 11:24 a.m. Mountain Time earlier today. So Mason versus Luis has a response in regards to this. So the Hbar has dumped below 6 cents because of the current exploit news. Wait for updates from official accounts. We did see some. If we head back to 3 cent zone, you know what I'm doing? Are you kidding me? You know what I'm doing as well? I know a lot of you guys can do it as well. But yeah, that is the news in regards to Hedera. It was a little bit longer than 5 in, 5 out, but man, it's big news. So Hedera came up with a particular response in light of everything that happened. We reported on it yesterday. Here's the response. But let's read some of this other stuff first. So this guy who's Hbar to the moon, 35,000 followers roughly. He says Hedera and community DEX projects have identified the exploit related to smart contract and working on a solution. Good. Props to Hedera and everyone involved for a quick response to the incident and putting users' safety first. Ecosystem will just get stronger from this experience. And of course, here's the particular breakdown from Hedera. I'll blow that up. So they basically said yesterday, today's attackers, again, yesterday's attackers technically, exploited the smart contract service code of the Hedera mainnet to transfer Hedera tokens, service tokens held by quote unquote victims' accounts to their own account. Yikes. The attacker, if you're wondering, targeted accounts used as liquidity pools on multiple DEXs that use Uniswap's V2 derived contract code ported over to use the Hedera token service, including Pangolin _ Hedera, Saucer Swap Labs, and even HeliSwap DEX. Now, there's a little bit more in regards to this. When the attackers moved the tokens obtained through, when the attackers moved tokens obtained through these attacks over the Hashport network bridge, the bridge operators detected the activity and took swift action to disable it. That's good. The Hedera community, including Swirls Labs, some of these other ones like the Foundation, Pangolin, Saucer Swaps, and the HeliSwap DEX, teams worked together to investigate the attack. It wasn't just one main source. That was good. To prevent the attacker from being able to steal more tokens, Hedera turned off mainnet proxies. So for some of the other guys out there, and I did report on, some of the ones that did share this, who were kind of fudding this, saying, oh no, why in the world would they turn off the mainnet proxies? This is a bad thing. Think about it. They had to. Why did they have to? Well, by doing so, this removed user access to what? The mainnet. It's simple. The team has identified the root cause of the issue and are working on a solution. Once the solution is ready, Hedera Council members will sign transactions to approve the deployment of updated code on mainnet to remove this vulnerability, at which point the mainnet proxies will be turned back on, allowing normal activity to resume. Now, I want to say this real quick, okay? If you don't know what a proxy is, then you don't understand why we even have proxies to begin with. Perfect example. All right. So, some of you guys use VPNs and so on, right? Well, in reality, you got to connect to a proxy, because you don't want your original IP address to be exposed and so on. It's the same applies to this. So, yesterday there was, God, man, there must have been a handful of content creators. I'm not going to mention their names. Who pointed out that, basically FUD stating that it's ridiculous that we have the mainnet proxies turned off. Well, it seems like they do, it worked pretty well to solve this particular case because I'll reiterate it, that allowed the removal of user access to the mainnet. So again, it's a tunnel. It's not a tunnel from the original IP though, right? If they never had these mainnet proxies to begin with, then yeah, I would imagine that would be room for tons of fun. Why, a project Hedera of the size of Hedera, you don't have proxies? Well, what the heck are you doing, right? But that is not the case. So again, you have that particular solution. They found the root cause of it, and if anything, they deployed the updated code on the mainnet to remove the vulnerability. To me personally, it's not quite case closed, but they had a direct response and they went about it pretty well, if you ask me. So there's that particular update in regards to the Hedera response from the bad news from yesterday. Boom, there you go.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.